call the meeting to order and ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to the December 15th County Commission meeting. I would remind you to silence your cell phones. The meeting documents are next to Commissioner Bender this morning. If you need a listening device, Robert is in the front row at the desk and he can help you with that. With that, we will move on to routine business. Item number 1 is to approve the agenda, and I would ask for an amendment to the agenda with the removal of item number 10.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second, to amend the agenda with the removal of number 10. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 2 is approval of the County Commission meetings minutes from December 8th, 2015.
So move.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 3 is bills to be paid in the amount of $502,500.76. Is there a motion?
Pay the bills.
Second.
Is there any comments? No comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 4 is reports. Item A is the Minnehaha County Sheriff's Report for November 2015. Item B is the auditor's account for the county treasurers as of November 30th, 2015, and those are on file at the auditor's office. Item number 5 is routine personnel, and I will remind you before I ask for a motion that on that routine personnel is the approval of Darlene Johnson's retirement. She has been with us for many years, and actually I was going to ask, and I forgot how many, but she's worked as an assistant auditor, and we are greatly going to miss her. So just know when you make that motion, you're letting her go. So, is there a motion to approve routine personnel?
So moved.
There's a second, regretfully. I have a motion, a second to approve the routine action. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Item number B is a motion to approve updates to the Minnehaha County's clarification and compensation policy effective December 19th. Carrie Deaver.
Good morning.
Carrie.
This policy is probably the smallest change I've ever brought to you before. Our current compensation and classification policy references our pay matrix, which currently has steps 2 through 18. Next year, that's going to move to 3 through 18, so I'm asking your approval of this policy. And again, the only change is changing one digit 2 to a digit 3.
Okay. Any questions for Carrie on that? Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is applications for abatement. There are none. Item number 7 is notices and requests. Item A is to authorize the county auditor to post notice of a hearing to conduct supplements of various county budgets from various county funds. Is there a motion on that?
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second to authorize publication. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Item 8 is planning and zoning notices. There are none. Item 9 is petition for compromise of lien. Jeff Barth.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today we have DPNO 6830 in the amount of $1,328.95. The applicant has submitted a compromise of lien application. The lien is in the name of the applicant and the ex-spouse. The lien was discovered as the applicant and the new spouse are looking at purchasing a new home. That closing is scheduled for 11 a.m. today. The lien is county services between 1982 and 1997 for public defender and transportation services. Only the first 2 liens for a total of $250 were incurred during that marriage. The applicant has provided evidence showing the divorce, etc. The applicant is requesting a compromise and release of the lien only as it applies to the applicant upon payment of $200, which represents the full amount of that the ex-spouse and the applicant were responsible for during the marriage. And I believe that there is a representative here for the applicant who, you may speak or you may not speak as you choose. You don't need to identify yourself or come to the podium, so if there's something you would like to say, you can say it right from where you are. Otherwise, you don't have to say anything.
That pretty much covers the information.
Okay, thank you.
We'll pay what accumulated while she was married to him.
Okay. Commissioner Barth, you stated it was 200. It's actually $250.
I thought I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I
That's
misspoke.
okay.
It is 250.
Well, that would be my motion to accept that compromise.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to compromise DPNO 6830 for the amount of $250 and to leave the remaining balance on
The ex-spouse.
ex-spouse. Is that your motion, Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Okay. The motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Yes, her name will be removed from it. Yeah. The next one is opportunity for public comment. If there's anyone that would like to speak about anything that is not on the agenda today. And seeing none, we will move on to regular business. Item number 11 is consider a motion to approve the highway construction change order number 1.
Good morning, Commissioners. DJ Boothie, Highway Superintendent. This change order is change order number 1. It is the final change order for this contract 114 BR-14. It was for a bridge replacement for 50-289-060, and it is a decrease in the amount of $13,128.63. It is just a final change order balancing the final quantities of the project that's necessary for the final payment of the contract. And if you have any questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, ask for your approval today.
Any questions for DJ on this one?
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 12 is consider a motion to approve the highway construction change order number 1. Actually, the same thing, but I will let you talk about it because it's got all the bridge numbers.
All right, Commissioners, this is the exact same thing, a final change order. This one is for structure 50-290-135, and it is balancing of quantities for the contract to make the final payment to the contractor. This one is also a decrease, and the decrease is a total of minus $2,531.21.
Any questions on this one?
Move to approve?
Motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 13 is consider a motion to approve professional services agreement between Minnehaha County and Civil Design.
Commissioners, we put together a long-range plan and a budget for each year. We do our best to put those together. This year, we did have one delayed project that we hope to do next year. And then we also had several savings through bids and various items on our construction budget. We have approximately $1 million left over in our construction budget. We also had a few bridges, 4 bridges that were posted for SHV loads on our county highway system that we had not necessarily anticipated, and they kind of snuck up on us. And so we want to use some of that cost savings to begin design for replacing those structures. And then with the idea that when we do our next long-range plan beginning in March of next year, we're able to program the construction of those 4 bridges into the long-range plan and come up with a construction year. In the meantime, this contract is with Civil Design, Inc. It is for the bridge that is on 114 just north of Lyons that we recently removed the asphalt bridge deck to remove the bridge posting. When I spoke to you about that earlier, I said that we are going to hopefully move forward with the design of that. And this contract was for $95,000 for the preliminary engineering and the final design engineering for the replacement of that structure. It was not budgeted for in 2015, but we hope to use some of the cost savings of that $1 million to pay for this. So we have the plans shelved and we're able to budget for it very soon.
Any questions on that project?
Just-
Commissioner Kelly?
You don't talk about the average daily deal in this thing.
The average daily traffic does not look like it's represented on this memo. I would speculate that it's between 800 and 1,200 cars per day. And I would say significantly higher during the harvest season with the elevator just there, a mile and a half away from it.
Is the bridge gonna be out then?
During construction, the bridge will definitely be removed. Again, this is only for design, and we'll have to go through our next budgeting cycle to find out when we propose to reconstruct the bridge. At the earliest, it would probably be in 2017.
Okay, thank you.
And hopefully we can look to avoid the busy travel during the fall when they're taking their trucks there anyway.
Yep,
Hopefully it'll be
absolutely.
done
We're
long
looking
before
at
that.
some sequencing to not be during harvest.
Right.
Is there a motion on this?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the professional services. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, DJ.
Madam Chair, can I ask DJ a question?
Mr. Barth?
DJ, you probably saw today that there are some issues with roads over in Split Rock Township, and I've been on some of those in that subdivision just in the last few days, and I went immediately to the car wash. Is there an issue with the way that they're being maintained, or, you know, there was some talk about that the water doesn't drain off, et cetera?
Normally, what would probably happen in this time of the year is the townships or on gravel road maintenance, you'll have a large pile of a windrow of material on the side of your road.
That
And
holds the
so
water on?
the drainage doesn't work very well when we have a lot of precipitation, a lot of moisture. And with the melting of snow, we've had some issues lately. And so I haven't been on the road specifically, but my guess would be that because of the perhaps poor drainage on those roads being the time of the year that it is, and the large amount of melting that we've had with the snow that we've had, probably is to blame. And I wouldn't necessarily say that Split Rock Township is doing a bad job with their maintenance. It's just a tough time of the year with the weather that we've had.
If I may. So how are we doing on our roads and with the weather that it's been?
Well, we don't have any gravel roads that we are maintaining, and so we don't see those same kinds of problems. We've had some issues with some ice, but the snow that we've had has been melting really quick, and so we've been doing pretty well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Barth. Thank you, DJ.
Mhm.
Item number 14 is consider a motion to authorize the use and savings of the personnel services budget for the following departments: the auditor's election and the commission office. Kim Adamson. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kim Adamson from the Auditor's Office. We have a budget policy requiring that departments seek commission approval if they want to utilize any savings in their personnel lines against budget overruns in their other expense lines. And so we have requests from two departments, the Commission Office and the Auditor Election Department, seeking approval to use their personnel savings to cover some other expense overruns.
Are there any questions for Kim?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Item number 15 is authorize the chairman to sign agreement for completion of the Sioux Falls Area Transportation Plan process between Minnehaha County and Southeast Council of Governments. Robert Wilson. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Commissioners. Robert Wilson of the Commission Office. For your consideration this morning, we have a contract between the Southeastern Council of Governments and Minnehaha County that will make federal funds available to the county for transportation and planning activities in 2016. This is an agreement that you enter into annually and does take your action this morning will be required to fulfill it. The contract is entitled The Agreement Between Southeastern Council of Governments and Minnehaha County for accomplishing the Sioux Falls Area Transportation Planning Process. This agreement makes $55,153 of federal highway funds available for activities of the Highway Department and the Planning Department, and requires a staff match, local match of $12,148. This is a contract that you have entered into annually for as long as I've been aware of the process, and it is a good partnership with our local areas of local governments as well as state and federal transportation authorities as well. The actual activities spelled out by this agreement are listed in the Unified Planning Work Program document, which is attached to this item, and you've had an opportunity to review. And the goals and activities set forth in the plan were developed jointly by Minnehaha County, Lincoln County, City of Sioux Falls, CCOG, and the South Dakota Department of Transportation. This has been officially adopted by the CCOG Urbanized Development Commission, and we would ask for a motion to approve this contract this morning.
Okay. Are there any questions on that? Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Robert. Item number 16 is authorize the chair to sign certification for completion and administrative closeout documents for CNA Workforce Training Expansion Grant Project. Robert Wilson.
Commissioners, back in 2012, in September of 2012, Minnehaha County sponsored Southeast Tech's application for a community development block grant from the state of South Dakota to expand its certified nurse assistant training program. That application was approved and funds were authorized in the amount of $55,952. Those funds were used to purchase lab equipment and to provide scholarships for eligible students. Minnehaha County received the grant funds and assumed responsibility for grant administration, distribution, and compliance, and assistance in administering the grant was provided to the county by the Southeastern Council of Governments. To date, 93% of those grant funds have been expended, and the county has now received the request from CCOG to begin the grant closeout process. And with your approval and commission chair signature this morning, we will sign the certification of completion, final financial statement, civil rights compliance certification, and acceptance of work resolution. And upon approval and signature by the chair, these will be forwarded to CCOG, which will initiate the final closeout procedures with the state.
Okay. Any questions?
I'll move to to authorize the commission chair to sign the documents.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 17 is Minnehaha County Liaison Reports. Are there any reports? Commissioner Barth.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Kelly and I went to Pier this past week, meeting with the Board of Directors for the State Association of County Commissioners. And we had a lot of discussion about not only our legislative priorities, which we derived at the convention, and we plan to push forward for most of them. There's a couple that are teetering, depending on some other decisions that the state might make. And we talked about meeting with our legislators here, and I don't know if we have, do we have a meeting? So we need to communicate with them. And I personally talked to Bob Wilcox about communicating with us better, because you know, we met jointly with the Municipal League people, and may have some commonalities with them, but we need to be kept up to date. In fact, I really only found out the exact date of this December meeting of a couple of weeks ago, and you know, if we're planning out long enough, we ought to let people out here in the boonies know about it, so you know, our dance card doesn't get so filled up we can't go. We also had a presentation about the DENR revising their CAFO rules. There was an article today that they postponed going forward with any of that, and that was from Paul Cosbooth, who did the assessment of Minnehaha County, showing where which 19 slivers of land might be available for development. And that's, I do have another item, but I wonder if Commissioner Kelly wants to.
On the convention?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. So are you, okay. we met Thursday morning, the convention committee, whatever, that's basically the exec board. And things are progressing. It will be here in Sioux Falls, as you all know. I think perhaps they're not used to having a county want to help them. So, Chris is kind of going on, and we discussed various, including, and I believe we settled on it, it'll be a 2-day convention. We will have an exec board on Sunday night, and the vendors will open. I believe we're talking they were to be open at 10 a.m. instead of noon on Monday, but it'll shorten. They'll have the election and all and the resolutions on Tuesday after. Am I right on the days? Tuesday afternoon, and then by 4 o'clock, everybody can go wherever they want to go. I would encourage our chair to communicate with Chris up there and talk about what we can do down on this end. There's room for 80 booths. I think they had like 67 maybe in past years. There's no reason we can't fill that up. There was concerns about costs, but it costs more money to do things in Sioux Falls, and we're going to do them in a facility that's better than any of the others in the state. So I think a lot of the concern ran around, income and expenses. And somehow we've got to assure them that we will work hard to get their income up, which will cover these additional costs. So things are on track, and if you got any ideas, I believe Jeff's working on a keynote speaker perhaps of a national, a national figure. We think we can get more people in here. We also talked about the fact that it seemed like too many of the breakouts were oriented to the SDACO and not the commissioners, and that we'd like to see more, and I think that was pretty good consensus. So,
Just for our listening audience, we're talking about the County Commissioners Association Convention, which will be in Sioux Falls for the first time since I've been here.
3 years.
I think.
4 years.
3 or 4 years.
It's been a while.
And we're going to be held in Sioux Falls in the fall, and so the commission is just anxious to get up and help the state, because usually the state office does all the work, and this year we're going to change things a little bit and help out with the whole proceedings.
And the year after, it'll be in Rapid City and then back to Pierre again. They do think that, and I think it's clear that to get people into Pierre is difficult, but it's easy to get state people like Chantel Krebs or whatever. So the hope is maybe we can get people from DC or whatever to show up here.
Okay. All right. Any other liaison reports? Commissioner Barth.
As we know, there's a vacancy on the Planning Commission, and the last time we had that vacancy, and we have multiple applicants, some very exciting applicants, actually. The last time we did that, we had them come in and speak to us, and then we looked them in the eye and voted one of them in and the other one's not in. How do we want to handle that? Do we want to follow the same practice?
Thoughts, comments?
Well, you can let it sizzle for a bit. We
Okay.
have time, but
Okay.
exactly how to handle that, we could pick 1 or 2 to interview or whatever. Personally, I think it's difficult to do it in public, but you know what? Might be the right thing to do.
Okay.
well,
Commissioner Kelly?
I think the Planning Commission is an extremely important arm of the county commission, so I really do believe we have to do the interview. We have to do the process we did before, even though it's unfortunate that you got to tell somebody no, but that's life.
All right, we will have some discussion about that and move forward with that soon.
Is there any new business? Is there any old business? Old business? Commissioner Barth,
Yes.
then again?
Just to summarize a little bit of the conversations we've had in the past about, excuse me, the petitioners in the front. This whole process started multiple years ago, and frankly, it's been reviewed by the public, by the commission, and the committee that was assigned. And I think we addressed most of those concerns in the policy itself about, you know, we're certainly interested in the democracy of the voting public, and we want to be able to make sure that that petitioning process upholds. The policy itself and how they gather and where they gather is pretty well defined in the policy itself. And if it's inclement weather, they do have the ability to come inside as long as they don't inhibit the flow of the public. So I think we had addressed all of those issues over a period of time, so I'm very comfortable to state that I think the policy addresses everybody's concerns.
Okay, thank you. Were there any other comments? Okay, any other old business? Look for a motion to adjourn into executive session for personnel.
It's my motion.
The motion, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned.